They're going to try to kill me. And if they are successful, if they do kill me, all I hope is that this video is watched by as many people as possible. Coincidence, by providence, I do like to believe that perhaps I live in the Truman Show. First, they try and shut you up. Second, they try and put you in jail. Third, they try and kill you. They only have option 3 left. And that's why we're making this video. Because I have a terrible suspicion that I won't make it to trial. So the UK tries to extradite me. They need to get me off the internet. They need to stop the emergency meeting podcasts. And they need to stop the school. Everyone's making money. I'm the most popular man on the planet. Everyone loves me. I'm top G. I'm famous. I've got hundreds of millions of dollars. I've got this big house in Dubai. I've got beautiful women. I've got kids, everything. I'm like, have I won? Hopefully that'll be televised because it's coming shortly. Unless they fucking kill me first, which is why I'm getting the messages I'm getting now, which is why we're doing this video. Had to get a new domain name, relaunch the whole fucking school. I just got out of jail. I got PTSD. I'm still fucking laying in bed looking for cockroaches all the fucking time. They fucking ruined my life. I can't sleep. That's fine. There's 2 foot in the videos of all the tweets I was making. I had fucking nightmares. I couldn't lay in a bed without looking for fucking cockroaches. I couldn't have a blanket on me.
Well, guys, it looks like that there's just never a boring or slow day in the Alpha Male universe, and there's always some goofy-ass shit happening, because we are back here yet again with the good old Tate brothers, who appear to not be having a very good time whatsoever, because they decided, for some reason, that it was a good idea to take a little trip to Miami when the UK is trying to extradite them, and I don't know if they got cocky or what happened here, but as I'm sure all of you know, there has been a little video going viral now where the Tate brothers were filmed being arrested while Andrew was wearing an outfit I can only consider to be something that somebody would wear if they got their ass whooped by a YouTuber in the ring. And they just both got slapped with a shit ton of new charges, with many of them not looking to be too good whatsoever. So with that being said, despite all of this happening, and despite Andrew getting locked up, he has somehow found a way that he was going to respond to everything, and ended up having his team post a video that he recorded beforehand that he decided to title, "Why They Arrested Me." So somehow, this goober has managed to find a way, despite being locked up, to look like a dipshit, and to try to make some sort of response to the entire situation. So naturally, we're going to be taking a look at it, and we're going to see what this goober actually has to say to defend himself, and just listen to the antics he goes through during this 3.5-hour podcast, where he is saying and doing everything and anything to try to make himself look better, except for actually providing any type of evidence. And the video ends up starting off where he's stating that he doesn't know when it's going to see the light of day, and that he's just preparing it ahead of time, before he then kind of explains how he started his entire little online school, and the idea that started it all off, which was basically one of his girlfriends going to college and him telling her that it was a waste of time. And I'm not going to make you listen to all of that because he yaps on about it for quite some time and it's not really too relevant. But the main point he tries to push out of it, and the main narrative that he's trying to play, is the fact that him starting his school apparently threatened bigger education, and that is the reason that pretty much all of this is happening.
Andrew, 2 years ago, you and I sat in Romania for a 5-hour conversation. I opened with a quote from you that you haven't fully been able to explain until now. First, they try and cancel you, then they put you in jail, and if that doesn't work, they kill you. Andrew Tate, what's the real reason you were canceled? And what's the real reason you were put in jail?
Well, thank you for taking the time to do this, Jack. I'm not sure when this is going to see the light of day. However, a lot of the intimidation tactics against me are intensifying. And I've realized that many people at home who have witnessed parts of this story haven't seen or understood the entire story. And I've never told the entire story of what they actually did to me. So I feel like perhaps in case something happens to me, or perhaps they'll be successful. It certainly sounds like from the messages I'm getting that something is going to happen pretty soon, that I should just explain from the start of the very beginning of the story all the way to the end what they did to me and what everybody witnessed and what they're trying to do right now. These are the days of 2020, 2021. People remember me on the internet. I was more of a fringe internet celebrity, and I was telling people the truth. I wasn't scamming anyone. I was saying to the young men, if you want to make money, I'll teach you how to make money. But what I didn't realize is that I was getting into a war with big education. And big education, very much like big pharma, don't like when you take their money away. So as my school grows, as I promote it, and off the top of my head, if I use ninja memory, I had around 36,000 students at this point. I got an offer. They said, we want to sponsor you personally, Andrew. And we want you to shut up about certain things, not push the school, not say certain things, instead have certain opinions on certain topics. And in return, we're going to give you $50 million. It was a 3-year contract, $50 million. I sat there and thought, 16, 17 million a year, I'm making that already. And I get to say whatever I want. So I don't really want your sponsorship contract because it comes with all these rules. You're trying to tell me what to say. Maybe I'm, Jack, maybe I'm stupid. But I thought, what's the point in having money if you can't say what you want? Women can't drive. Sorry. It's the truth. And I'm going to say it.
And yeah, you just have to love how even in this supposedly serious video, he just had to sling out there some random ass shit at women, like they're just out here catching strays for absolutely no reason, as he's sitting there just trying to convince you and trying to spin this narrative that big education is after him, all because he started his little alpha male school, and that people are just coming after him, and that's why he needs to make this video, because as he said, something big is about to happen, which, as you'll see later on, that something big he is talking about is him apparently getting killed. And he's just saying all this shit, but isn't providing any type of evidence of this sponsorship or anything like that, and you just have to take his word for it. And as you'll see, this is the beginning of him just painting himself as this big victim of pretty much everyone, of all of these different governments, and all of these different people. And this is the pattern that a lot of alpha males tend to do, where they just try to make themselves the victim at any cost, and like they're some sort of sacrificial victim who's doing it for the good of everyone else. And after this, Andrew then states that he declined the sponsorship, and due to that, apparently, higher education ended up sending a girl to him and Tristan's house who was just there to basically frame them, and who apparently is the only girl who ever accused them. And he only spoke with her once or twice, and it was just saying hi.
So I declined the sponsorship contract. We continue to grow. A few months after that, Tristan gets a message from a girl. Can't say her name because there's open litigation. We'll call her Girl A. Girl, she's the beginning. She's the omega. She's the source of this. Girl A lives in Miami. Tristan knew her from a few years before. And she messages Tristan, hey, I want to come see you in Romania. Tristan's like, why? I've always wanted to see you in Romania. Tristan's like, okay then. I only said hello to her twice. I don't know this person. Tristan knows a lot of girls. She's there for 4 or 5 days. During those 5 days that she's in Romania for 5 days. 3 of the days, Tristan and I weren't even in the country. We were away. England, I believe. The rest of the time, she's going to the cinema, hanging out with Tristan's other girlfriends, hanging out with my girlfriends, hanging out with our personal assistant, Georgiana, who ends up going to jail, hanging out. And after about 5 or 6 days, she vanished. And I said to Tristan, where's Girl A gone? He goes, I don't know. She blocked me and left. It's like, why? He goes, probably got jealous of my other girlfriends. Yeah, probably. Who cares, right? We're just guys. We're making money. We go to school. We got a big mansion. We got Lamborghinis. Girl A wants to come. Girls always want to come. There's 100 girls by the pool. Who cares? Girl A comes. Girl A vanishes. No one thinks anything of it. About 3 days after Girl A vanished, April of 2022, we were sitting in our house at 1 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon when armed police turn up, SWAT. And the SWAT raid our house, bust down our door, and running with machine guns, pointing weapons everywhere and yelling at us to get on the ground. And they said, Girl A has reported to the American embassy that there are kidnap victims and victims of human trafficking in this residence.
So as you can see, his full narrative is kind of just coming together now. And according to Andrew, this is basically the entire root to all of his problems, which is Girl A, and she is the only person who has reported him for anything and who has spoken out against him and all of that shit. You know, even though there were these alleged text messages that were leaked, where we have Tristan allegedly getting freaky deaky with a 16-year-old, where in my opinion, he is using a whole lot of grooming behavior to convince her to learn what anal is, charges and do it with him, and where Andrew was allegedly just saying all types of crazy shit, like threatening to beat a woman, and saying he does illegal shit and he's gotta clean his money and all that. He just ignores all that shit. You know, all 100 and something pages of these leaked texts that are not a good look at all and are filled with things that imply a whole lot of wild shit that Fox News allegedly released from the court case. We're just gonna ignore all that shit and pretend like there's nothing whatsoever, and it's all bullshit coming from this one girl. And after this, even though this on its own was kind of not too believable and seemed to be a stretch, he then goes on to tell the rest of the story, where apparently he was out here making jokes and everyone was laughing, including the cops that were there, and everyone that he seemed to come across during this entire process, according to Andrew, just loved and respected him and were on his side, but they just had to do their job. And even the prosecutor was apparently cracking jokes with them.
I turned to Tristan and I said, Tristan, she's a 7. Look all the mess you got us in. She's not even a 9. She's a 7. Tristan laughs. I laugh. The police officer laughs. Everyone laughs. They look around the house. The house was completely empty. It was just Tristan and I there. No victims. We'd had no friends there. No girls. No one's there. They searched the entire house for drugs. They looked for drugs because girl A also reported us for being drug dealers and steroid abusers. All this list of crimes. 11 p.m. we walk into this office and there's the prosecutor. We sit down. The prosecutor says, why did this girl say there was girls kidnapped in your house? And I said, brother, I haven't got a fucking clue. I only said hello to her twice. Ask Tristan. It's Tristan's girlfriend. I don't know. And then the prosecutor goes, well, Tristan should have bought her a handbag, and laughed. And then I laughed. And we all laughed. And I was like, American girls are crazy, bro. Me too. This crap happens. Maybe in Romania it's not a big thing, but in America happens all the time. These girls are nuts. They just make stuff up. He goes, yeah, I heard about that, but I didn't know it's actually this bad.
And yeah, you gotta love how he's just talking about how everybody laughed. He made a joke and apparently it was just cracking everyone up. And then the prosecutor made a joke about the handbag. And then everybody just started cracking up and clapping. And then after that, Andrew just took his dick out, flopped it on the desk. And the prosecutor was so impressed by how big it was that he just had to shake his hand, congratulate him, and drop all the charges. Like, that's the level of ridiculousness we're getting with this bullshit. And it continued to get ridiculous as he talked about basically having to go to jail, and he tried reaching out to the UK and they didn't do anything, and he tried reaching out to his lawyers there and they didn't do shit, and then his last hope was in the US and he tried reaching out to them and they denied him, even though according to him the person that was sent respected him a lot and liked him, but just couldn't do anything for him.
I'm an American citizen and I'm there and I'm talking to the prison guards, and the prison guards know I'm innocent. They're like, what are you doing here? Because everyone knows me in Romania. I'm famous. I'm like, bro, you fucking tell me. And they're like, you've upset someone. I'm like, who? They're like, I don't know, but there's no reason for you to be here. This is bullshit. It's Romania. It's bullshit. You upset someone. I'm like, who did I upset? Is it the guy whose land I didn't buy? Like, what's going on? Going through my head. Anyway, they said, an American has never been arrested in Romania before. I was like, really? He goes, yes, actually, we had an American guy here before. He stabbed 2 people. And he went home in 3 days, back to America. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, Romania's not going to arrest Americans. I was like, so I'm going to go home? They're like, for sure. I said, well, he stabbed 2 people and he got out. I supposedly fucking stole TikTok money, so I'm sure I'm going to get out. So I'm really excited for the American embassy to turn up. American embassy turns up. I walk in there. I'm like, guys, thank fuck. Real humans. No more Romanians. I'm an American. You're a fucking American. This is bullshit. U.S. Constitution. This is fucking garbage. And the American government is now telling me that we respect the Romanian judicial system and believe that you have to go through the process. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? How long am I going to be here? He goes, Andrew, I like you. And, I'm just here to do my job. And I've been around, but I think you need to prepare for quite a long stay. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean a long stay? I haven't fucking done anything. When I was in jail, after the U.S. government sold me out and left me there, and I told the guards, I just saw the American embassy. They didn't give a shit. They're like, that can't be true. I was like, they didn't give a shit. He goes, we've arrested and had about 20 or 30 Americans in jail overnight. No one stays here. The guy who stabbed people did 3 days at most to go home. We've never seen this. I was like, so why does that happen to me? And they looked sad. They looked somber. They were like, I don't know who you've upset. but this is bad.
So as you can tell, everybody just knew him and respected him because he was famous there. And even the prison staff were like, what are you doing here? And they felt sad for him, and apparently just looked sad and somber because he was there. And despite the embassy member liking him, he was just doing his job, which just always seems to be the case with him. But in Andrew's point of view of everything, he's still just the main character and everyone loves him. And he continued with this so much that even when he got released, apparently the prisoners were cheering for him and everybody was celebrating, having a whole kumbaya, and it's just all so goofy.
8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 10:30 p.m. They announce on the news I'm going home. I call my lawyer. Is it fucking true? Is it true? The whole jail started screaming. Frati means brother. Frati Tate, Frati Tate. The whole jail screaming for me and Tristan. Frati Tate, you go home. Frati Tate, you're the best, you're the best.
So yeah, after this part, where he's kind of just talking about the prison time, and he's just claiming that pretty much everyone's corrupt and they're all after specifically him for some reason because he apparently started this online coaching course and was making money from it. He then kind of went into all of his house arrest situations where it was just the same story where the Romanian government was corrupt and so was the US and UK, and everybody was just against him, and how Romania would just come in, do raids, take all his cars and all of his property, and would put it into evidence, since it could have been bought with anything he had done illegal. And it kind of just led into him giving a goofy story here or there, like this one, where he claims that apparently during one of the raids, they came into his house and he jumped up out the bed with a machete and was relieved when he saw the cops because apparently he has so many different enemies after him, and a cop just kicked him across the room. And he claims that they then just beat the shit out the girl who was in the bed.
When they busted that door open, Jack, at 4 a.m. for the second raid after we had landed, when I heard the door go, I reached across and grabbed that famous machete from that machete video. And I picked it up and I stood up in my underwear. And when I saw the door to my bedroom bust off the hinges and police ran in, I felt relieved. I thought it was the Serbs, the Albanians. I have enemies everywhere. Turks. I thought it was the other team. When I saw police and they pointed the gun at me, I was like, oh, thank God. Just you fucking guys. What the fuck do you want? Because I had held a machete. The fucking guy runs up and front kicks me across the fucking room. Thank God his gun didn't go off. They jump all over me. The girl who's in my bed, they jump all over her. And while I'm on the ground, while the guards with the guns, with the fucking SWAT, have got their knees on my back, while I'm on the ground in my fucking bedroom, you know what the first thing they said to me was? Where's the Bugatti? Eventually the detective says we're here for human trafficking. I'm like, we've fucking done this already. And if you're here for human trafficking, why is it the girl who was in my bed, you didn't ask if she's okay? You fucking dragged her by her hair out of the bed and forced her onto the ground at gunpoint and asked about my Bugatti. What the fuck's that got to do with anything? But I thought we're here for human trafficking. And the girl you find in the house you beat the fuck out of and start asking me about my cars.
So yeah, apparently he jumped up, grabbed the machete, got front kicked across the room, and then they just beat the shit out the girl and dragged her by her hair and all types of shit, right? And I don't know why he just doesn't show this on his supposed CCTV that he has all over the place. Because, you know, that would actually be pretty effective for him and would somewhat, you know, prove this story. But of course that's not what he does. And he just continues to yap, where he tries to keep painting himself as the victim. And he starts going on tangents about how he's going to sue girl A because she destroyed his mental health, and about the toll that prison took on him. And it's just more of that emotional argument where he's trying to make you feel bad for him so that his story is a lot more effective. And again, he just does nothing to address any of the other things we've seen or evidence besides just claiming that they're corrupt. No other girls have apparently spoken out against him. And in fact, some of them apparently spoke for him.
The famous video of me walking up and down, smoking the cigar, because I had learned this habit in jail of pacing. And it took me 7 months to break. For the next 7 months, I was pacing all the time. My girlfriends would be like, Andrew, sit down. But I'd just pace like a fucking caged dog back and forth. For 4 months, I just paced up and down. So I'm in my living room, I'm just pacing up and down. I'm starting to all go through my head. Wait a fucking second. I'm glad to be out. Yes, I get to see the sky. Whoa. I should have never fucking been there. I started a school teaching fucking ecom. Had to get a new domain name, relaunched the whole fucking school. I just got out of jail. I got PTSD. I'm still fucking laying in bed looking for cockroaches all the fucking time. And my whole fucking school's fucked. But they've taken all my fucking money. Yeah, I have money hidden, but I need to fucking fight legal bills, legal fees. Kids need to eat. So I need to get to school. I want money. What else am I going to do? I'm locked in my house. And also, I'm like, these people. Because the school's how I defend myself, because that's the 28,000 Clippers. Let's get the fucking school back online. So I go to house arrest. I get fucking mad, and I'm like, okay, a few things have to happen. Firstly, I'm not a vengeful man, but I do believe in justice. So you know what the first thing I'm going to do is? I'm going to sue Girl A. We're going to come back to that later. Hopefully that'll be televised because it's coming shortly. Unless they can kill me first, which is why I'm getting the messages I'm getting now, which is why we're doing this video. Because Girl A is being sued. So we got the lawsuit against Girl A in Florida. First thing I do is I sue her. She lied. She knows she lied. The Romanian state is corrupt. They stole my fucking stuff. They destroyed my fucking business. They destroyed my mental health. They put me in a fucking cell. They've ruined my reputation. They kept me from my fucking kids. Sue her. Why not? It's the first thing we do. Second thing we do is start trying to get the school back online. And you know what? In my ignorance, even still at this point, I believe it's almost the end of the story. They fucking ruined my life. I can't sleep. It was fine. There's 3 foot in the videos of all the tweets I was making. I had nightmares. I couldn't lay in a bed without looking for cockroaches. I couldn't have a blanket on me. I was if therapy was a real thing, I would have needed it. I was a fucking mess. And I was like, no, it's fucking war. It's fucking war. We're doing it. So we started doing our emergency podcasts, emergency meeting. Romania is corrupt. This is a setup. Here's the victim saying that we haven't done anything wrong. The prosecutor's a piece of shit. He's a scumbag. This dump. The cops. You. And just tell them the truth. Unfazed.
And yeah, you get the idea. He just continues to endlessly paint himself as this victim and this martyr who's getting taken down for creating his school online. And it then transitions to the real message towards the end, where he starts to talk about the present, where the UK was extraditing him. And he claims that it's because they need to get that school offline and they absolutely must stop his goofy ass emergency meetings.
So the UK tries to extradite me. They need to get me off the internet. They need to stop the emergency meeting podcasts, and they need to stop the school.
And I do not know why he even bothered mentioning the emergency meetings, because all they are is him being a lolcow and making himself look dumb as fuck. And we've been watching him for like the past 2 months now, where he's just complaining about people beating drums in Africa, and he's been yapping about how he can apparently time travel and orange juice keeps sharks away, and all types of stupid shit, and that nobody is so concerned about that they need to frame him for. And he uses this as a transition to talk about how nothing else is working, and apparently they just need to kill him now, and that's why he's making this video, and that's why he's saying and doing all of this shit right here.
They're going to try to kill me. And if they are successful, if they do kill me, all I hope is that this video is watched by as many people as possible so that something happens and changes. Because if you're a man who speaks the truth, your ability to speak freely is directly correlated to your insignificance. You are only allowed to talk the truth if nobody listens to you. If people are listening to you, if you become the most Googled man on the planet and you're saying the right things, they will do everything they fucking can to take you down. First, they try and shut you up. Second, they try and put you in jail. Third, they try and kill you. Everyone's flying to Dubai to talk to me, and I'm saying in all these podcasts, you get 3 lives. And if they ever try and put me in jail for something I didn't do, I hope everyone at home is smart enough to understand it is a setup. I said that verbatim. Please play the clips of me saying that verbatim on repeat in Dubai after all of this has happened. The 3 lives. First, they try and shut you up. They tried that. Everyone they silenced before me went away. I got bigger. First guy in history. Now, if you silence someone, everyone's copied my tactic. But I invented it. Second, you try and put him in jail. Third, you kill him. I am lucky that I had the past I had. I'm lucky I had a webcam studio. That's not human trafficking. There's OnlyFans girls all over LA. It's not illegal. I'm lucky I had lots of girlfriends. Lucky I slept with a lot of women. Lucky I've made racist jokes. Lucky I've done a bunch of things. Lucky I bought cars. Lucky I missed a little bit of tax. I'm lucky I did these things because killing people is messy. And killing people makes them a hero. So when they decided I had to go after the first life of deleting me failed because of the affiliates, they thought, well, killing him is messy and it makes him a hero and it proves him right about everything the Matrix said. Luckily, this guy has lived such a fucking interesting life, we can find something to pin on him. His past is messy enough that we can get him. We can set him up. That's the only reason I'm not dead. And the only reason they want me to kill myself is because then I'd lose aura as a hero. That's why when I kept saying you had to kill me, they didn't want to do it. They kept believing if we keep relying on the corruption of the Romanian state, we're going to get him. Because he has fucked women. I've fucked women, it's true. I've made racist jokes, that's true. It's enough. We can get something. They only have option 3 left. And that's why we're making this video. Because I have a terrible suspicion that I won't make it to trial. And if that happens, that's when I want you to release this video. That's where we currently are right now in my entire legal predicament. And they know they are fucked on every level. On the funding of this fucking NGO, on this fucking liar, her being paid in advance, her legal defense, the Romanian state, the British corruption, all of this fucking comes crashing down because they tried to get one guy, me, for doing what? Having a school, encouraging young men to go to the fucking gym. I'm going to go to Kazakhstan and hide in the mountains for a while. I'm going to pop back up at December. And if I make it, it's going to be Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, times 1,000.
And yeah, that's where it essentially ends after he goes on and on about how they're gonna kill him, even though all that happened is his goofy ass got arrested and he got a shit ton of new charges added. And it seems like he's never gonna make it to Kazakhstan like he wanted, and he's never gonna get to chill in the mountains like he wanted because he got cocky, went to Miami, and got his goofy ass arrested. And I have a feeling that if he does get extradited, it's only gonna get worse for him, and I don't think he's gonna be able to beat the shit. But with this roller coaster of stupidity, who knows what's gonna happen. But with that said, that's enough for one day. And if you enjoyed, please drop the sub and a like and join the Saints Mafia, where we are just watching all of the shit shows occur. And I'm out. Watching Andrew Tate desperately put out his last message. In peace.
All on the internet, there's these hater accounts funded by NGOs, and they're attacking you, and all this shit's going on, and you're just sitting there just like, I'm just a fucking guy. I was teaching Shopify. I'm just a fucking dude. And you just have to get Aikido and fucking resist. What else are you gonna do? Die, I guess. Most men in my position would have killed themselves. Most men in my position would have at least broken or cracked or said sorry or apologized or did a deal or give up. I could have gone to the decal anytime and said, okay, I'll admit I'm guilty, there's no jail. And I'll shut the school down, I'll delete the internet, and I go away as a sex trafficker, and I just vanish, and I keep my little bit of money, and I go away. Every man would have done that. All these men watching this now think they wouldn't have done that. Yes, you would have.